All right, man. Let's talk about why the Lions lost to the Eagles. I done heard people say from they lost because of the Jared Goff pick six at the end of the half. But let's talk about why they really lost. All right, mistakes are gonna happen. All right, that's gonna happen. You know, Goff gonna turn the ball over. You know, um, we all know that. Okay, but let's talk about like the things that they can control. Right, check out Detroit Lions talk players for videos like this. Um, the coaching, right? We knew we had a new play caller, and I think that's the single biggest influence for this loss. And I think so, right? And obviously, this falls on Dan Campbell too. He said it was going to be a collective effort or a collaborative effort with Ben Johnson. So they both fairly new to calling plays, and that's okay. Bumps are going to be expected. All right, bumps are going to be expected. So, um, his first 2015 to 2025 plays, whatever it was, usually from like 10 to first 30 plays are scripted, right? It's scripted like a movie, okay? Um, and it was beautiful, all right? What changed, what had the biggest impact on the game was how they allowed DeAndre Swift and a combination Swift and Jamal Williams not to be not to affect the ball game. Now that they had to keep pounding the running pounding and running the ball, no, they didn't have to keep pounding and running the ball, but they should have been finding ways to get the extension of the run game. Okay, and when I say an extension of a run game, hitting them in the flats, hitting them coming out on Texas routes, running back option routes, doing it that way. Okay, that's just my opinion, right? Find a way to keep them engaged, and obviously they should have just kept running the ball to keep it plain and simple. That would have kept Golf in rhythm. That's what the most critical point when Golf was good in LA was because Todd Gurley, everything whatever Todd what Todd Gurley did made it go. Okay, what Todd Gurley did made it go. It was the straw that mixed the drink. It was it was everything. Real talk, it was everything. Okay, it was literally everything for Jared Goff, and they should have just kept running the ball. Now they tried to get too cute. All right, they tried to get cute and start doing some other things, but one thing I will point about Dan Campbell is he's found a way to make this team a physical football team. It's something that Jim Schwartz did it, but they was a physical. They wasn't disciplined. Okay, and that was a huge issue about it. They was not disciplined. Under Dan Campbell, they are a lot more disciplined, right? And but that affected everything. Not continuing to run that football, and that took Jared Goff out of rhythm, which caused him to throw the interception. That caused the defense to get tired, which was they was playing with a lot of momentum early on. Um, that caused them to get tired. Thus, Jalen Hurts is one of those dudes who gonna keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger as the game go on. Them not running the ball and sustaining drives had an effect on everything. It allowed Jared Goff to be lethargic and not keep a rhythm. Okay, it allowed DeAndre Swift not to continue that big defensive front of the Eagles, which the Lions offensive line today showed that. All right, they showed that you can run on the Philadelphia Eagles when they healthy and they got Fletcher Cox and Hargraves and everybody else. They showed that you can play a physical brand of football and you could beat them at that. They showed that. Okay, and they didn't expose it like they should have continued to expose it. And they should have kept running it. Then play action or keep running it. Then get a Ryan space and do so. So by them not continuing to run the football, um, you know, that had an effect that tired the defense out. Um, it exposed them. It gave them a pick six, right? It let the Philadelphia Eagles defense get a nice little breather. All right. So, and that was the one of the, I think that's the single biggest effect that it had on the Lions' loss. Then I point to the onside kick call, which is not necessary, by the way, right? It was not necessary to call the onside kick, in my opinion. It just was not necessary for that to be called. That gave them a short field. Then that led to the Tracy Walker penalty. Um, that led to the Tracy Walker penalty. That led to the Tracy Walker. My bad. That led to the Tracy Walker. That penalty. That whole sequence. That whole sequence led to trouble, and they gave them a short field, and they gave them basically a touchdown. After I think the Anzoni penalty and the Tracy Walker penalty might have been on the same drive. I could be wrong on that, but it definitely was a Tracy Walker penalty, right? And that was very, very. Them the two main thing that destroyed the football team. The reason why them not continuing to run the football was the biggest for the loss. It wasn't golf talent. It wasn't the defense, because it had a domino effect that made them lose the football game. It tired out the defense. It took Jared Goff out of rhythm. It caused pick six going the other way, right? It tired the defense out. They was tired. So, like I said before, it just had a chain reaction. Then Dan Campbell kicking the onside kick, it had a chain reaction too. Tracy Walker got the penalty. He hit Jalen Hurts back in the day. That would have been a good hit. It would have been a good hit back in the day. But hey, it's not back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So, um, so yeah, that call was very, very critical, and it was a difference in the ball game. Now, people want to point to the pick six. Wouldn't have been no pick six had they just continued to run the ball and control the clock and did what they did in the first drive. So you can always point back to the root cause. Now, those are the two main things that destroyed them. Now, if I had to do a third one, end of the half, critical. You put Will Harris out of the corner, which he was no good at safety. That we all can agree with. He was no good at safety. Okay. Um, you take him, you put him out at corner, right? He gets smoked for almost six. At the end of the half, they get the ball back to Philadelphia. They score six at the end of right before the halftime, and they get the ball back. So, whatever happened with Jeff Okudah, if he needed a breather, it was an equipment malfunction. That he played a really, really good football game today, and him not being out there on the opposite side of Monty Aurarie really hurt the football team. It really did. People would talk about, well, they couldn't stop the run and this. Bro, one of the reasons that they couldn't stop that run, it wasn't nothing that Aaron Glenn could do. Once you look at it, that's why I say it wasn't really a reason they lost. It was, but it wasn't one of the main reasons they lost. But before I get there, Will Harris giving up that six. He shouldn't even be playing corner. He shouldn't even be on the football team unless he's contributing as a special teams player. Let's just be real. He shouldn't even be out there. You know? He shouldn't even, and that was critical. That flipped the whole half of the field. That could have been a difference between a punt or a long field goal or a field goal in general or no points at all. It gave them a lot of momentum going into the half and coming out the half. They got the football. So kind of like just think about that for a minute. So those are the three main plays, I believe, the three main reasons they truly lost. And I said number one was the offensive coordinator not sticking to what they did running the ball and being successful. Now, to continue to talk about defensively, some of the lapses they had defensively real quick, as far as them not being able to stop Jalen Hurts and other mobile quarterbacks. That's been a problem going back. Joe Webb running on the Lions as a backup quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. That's how long ago that's been a damn problem, right? We got to call a spade a spade. We got to call a spade a spade. It's been a very problem for a very, very long time. But today, you got to understand. This is why I told y'all Levi Anaruki was the second most important player on this team outside of Jared Goff. Because they don't get the pressure up the middle, right? And they have to manufacture pressure up the middle to get Jalen Hurts. You know, yeah, they got big studs there and Brockers and Bugs played a good game and Elaine McNeil, but you need that twitchy inside three technique guy in that 4-3, like Warren Sapp, Gerald McCoy. You need that guy that's going to be very twitchy on the inside and wreak havoc and be able to penetrate. You need that push. That way, he get that push from that pocket. Guess what? He rolling out now. Now I don't have to worry about having Charles Harrison, Aiden Hutchinson, line up the same way and crash down the middle, crash down off the edge. That way they can get upfield, maintain, set the edge, and Zorky is causing havoc. That's stopping the run. That's causing double teams. That's putting pressure in Jalen Hurts' face. Therefore, it's this totally different ball game. Therefore, he don't have a clean pocket to escape and roll out from. So a lot of their issues came from personnel issues, not having Josh Pascal, somebody that you could put at the three technique that can be twitchy and do that. Now, some situation they put Aiden Hutchinson inside, and he that's a lot to ask of anybody. That's too much to ask. And I'm just being honest. So, they two three techniques. They need Zorky back. They need Pascal back. That gives them a whole different realm of athletic ability and pressure in the middle of that defense. And when you don't have that, bro, it makes it a lot easier on Jalen Hurts. But other than that, man, it ain't nothing Aaron Glenn could have did. I mean, people say put a quarterback spy on him. And you got to ask him why he didn't do that. I'm pretty sure it's a reason why he didn't go with a quarterback spy, right? But it wasn't too much more you can ask him to do. You got to understand he got a lot of spare parts in that front seven. A lot of guys that wouldn't start at other places. And without your two main defensive pass rushers on the interior, I mean, then you don't have Romeo Corrin either. I mean, y'all got to understand that defense is a work in progress. Shout out to Juju Hughes. He came in and didn't drop a beat. You got to remember, too, they don't have Jerry Jacobs. That won't be Will Harris out there getting smoked. That'll be Jerry Jacobs spelling Jeff Okuda, and that don't happen. So you got to understand the main three things was the offensive coordinator and the head coach who collaborate on the play call and the game plan. That was one of the biggest reason. Right before half, Will Harris giving up that 6. That was a big reason. And like I said before, just being decimated with injuries and just talent. But one thing I can say, Rodrigo can play fucking football. That's one thing he can do. Malcolm Rodriguez is a fucking animal. He's an animal. He played good. Imagine when he gets some more bodyguards up front that can wreak havoc like Anna Zorki and Josh Pascal. Imagine when you get those type of guys up front. But the play calling in the beginning, it took them all out of whack. A couple coaching decisions here took them all out of whack. But then, and obviously it was the onside kick that took them out of whack too. So if I had to point to three things, everything that offensive play caller not running and feeding the backs, that set off a chain effect. They got the defense tired with a lot of 3 and outs. It caused the pick 6 with Jared Goff, and then, the spelling Jeff Okuda wherever he went, and Will Harris going out here, that gave him 6. Then the onside kick after you get 6, that gave him 6. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like when your defense got a rest that they wasn't competing with Philly. They was. They're doing a damn good job. And also you can point to another turning point that lead back to my first point about the bad play call, not running the ball. You can kind of rewind, fast forward, and and say I lost my train of thought that quick. I was gonna say I forgot what I was gonna say, but you could fast forward. It was something else I was gonna point out. But one of the things I continue not to like about the Lions is here. Some bonus talk. Maybe I'll do a video about it. Um, I don't like the fact that I'm trying to think. I'm kind of tired, but it's one of the things I was just thinking about. Um, I can't really think no more. But it was a couple. Oh, one of the main things I don't like. You got a tight end as a head coach, and they still not being finding creative ways to get the ball to T.J. Hawkinson. The way they got it to Gronkowski in Tampa, I mean New England and Tampa, Tony Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp. Now Eric Ebron would have had a full revival with Indianapolis had Andrew Luck never got hurt. What you found out in Indianapolis about Eric Ebron was that he's a vertical tight end. He's not one of them tight ends that's gonna run timing patterns. He's somebody you put him on the wheel, you put him on the deep cross, you put him on the corner route, you put him on the flag. You have to stretch him out, and I still don't think they stretching the field and they using T.J. Hawkinson the best of their abilities, and they continue to go on. I don't think they're using Amon Ra to the best of his abilities. That's where the offense started at. DeAndre Swift is the stud if he stay healthy. But after DeAndre Swift, the ball should go to Hawkinson and Amon Ra, work them in the middle of the field, working the intermediate, the middle, outside the hashes. Then you talk about going to Josh Reynolds on the outside, and at the end of the day, they can use Jameson Williams after what I seen today. They really could, but I still will rush him. But some of the things I love DeAndre Swift, Malcolm Rodriguez, and how the defense competed, and they're not that talented. Aaron Glenn is a stud at defensive coordinator, but I'll say for them some of that talk for later on. Week 2, we played a football team that beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, but them the three main things that I first mentioned at the beginning of the video. The offensive play calling. I talked about the chain reaction there, um, how that affected the football team. Okay, talk about the wheel here's before the half of the six, and then you turn around and talk about the one side kick. Doing the three main things. All the other shit I can live with. But check out Detroit Line Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, the subscribe button, it's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. And then you want to support the channel, Cash App, $sign CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Hit the link tree on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Check out Detroit Line Talk playlist for more videos like this. One time for the one time. Peace.